Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Change the direction, our stance anyway, on how we go after drug problems.
20 search warrants were filed in Cass County on Friday. The majority from Fargo Police. Most of those were for drugs. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us.
They lay out investigations using criminal informants, controlled buys, and canine units with drug-sniffing dogs. Valley News Team's Bradford Eric talks with police who say this somewhat shows how bad the drug problem has gotten.
Search warrant came into my hands on the 7th day of June, the 10th day of June, the 14th, the 16th, the 17th. The list keeps going. Police say it is indicative of just how bad the problem is, but only slightly.
The drug problem is creating a lot of our property crimes, what we're seeing within the city. So it's kind of both good and bad.
One warrant details an apartment search in South Fargo, talking about the Gangster Disciples, a violent gang formed on the south streets of Chicago. Another, how officers staked out a hotel room as a Minneapolis man peddled drugs. 4 more focused on an apartment building on Dakota Drive North, where a canine unit had multiple hits on multiple apartment units.
I mean, that allows us the opportunity to use them as a tool to enhance our drug detection efforts.
And still another talks about a report made to the Fargo North School Resource Officer of 2 students suspected of dealing fentanyl to other students using Smart Water plastic bottles.
If we can build communication with some of those students that can provide us information as far as trying to keep drugs out of the school and keep students safe, that goes in our favor.
And he says it hopefully keeps our kids away from these deadly substances. Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
Fargo Public Schools did send us a statement, and we have posted that in full on our website. Just search valleynewslive.com and click on this story.
The parents of Andrew Sadek have filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Richland County Sheriff's Deputy Jason Weber. Tammy and John Sadek say they filed the lawsuit after receiving no answers in their son's death 2 years ago. Andrew Sadek was a college student at NDSCS. His body was pulled from the Red River near Wahpeton with a gunshot wound to the head and a backpack full of rocks tied to him. He was working as an informant for SEMCA, the Southeast North Dakota Drug Task Force. The Sadek family says Deputy Sheriff Weber was the person who recruited Andrew to be a confidential informant. That large house fire in downtown Detroit Lakes is out, but not before causing a scare for the fire department. Crews got the call shortly before 1 this afternoon, and when they arrived, flames were shooting through the roof. Valley News Team's Giovanna Simic has been on the scene for several hours. She joins us now from Detroit Lakes. Giovanna, what's the latest?
Thanks, Mike. You know, the fire chief did tell me that it was a considerably large fire, that 3 fire departments had to respond: Frazee, Detroit Lakes, and Audubon. Now, there is no cause of the fire yet, and the house is vacant and was scheduled to be torn down for a new gas station to be built. The fire did close down Frazee Street and McKinley Avenue, and it took crews about 45 minutes to completely extinguish the fire out. Now, tonight on Valley News Live 10 at 10, I will have reaction from a man who saw the fire happen firsthand. For now, reporting in Detroit Lakes, Giovanna Simic, Valley News Live.
All right, thanks, Giovanna. The State Fire Marshal's office is working to determine the cause of that fire.
Very refreshing out there today, cooler temps and a quiet night. Let's head over to Robert Hahn for a first look at tonight. Robert?
Yeah, refreshing, a great word to describe today, with temperatures still only in the 60s and 70s. Some light northerly breezes out there overnight tonight. It's going to be a bit crisp, with temperatures dipping down to possibly in the upper 40s in a few locations. Right now, though, some 60s and 70s, 65 in Bemidji, 68 a common number. Thief River Falls, Langdon, and Devils Lake, 73 right now. Here in the Fargo-Moorhead area, winds out of the north, primarily 5 to 15 miles per hour with an occasional stronger gust. They become light and variable overnight tonight. Still a few clouds on our eastern counties, but skies will become clear for everyone overnight. And with clear skies and light winds, we will see a cold night. Hardly a thing on the radar and not anticipated in terms of precipitation tonight or tomorrow. Here in Fargo, as we head through the rest of the evening, temperatures dipping down into the mid-60s by 9 o'clock. A cool night tonight. A nice day again tomorrow, but we've got storm chances on that 7th day, and we'll detail that in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Robert. People in South Fargo are paying extra attention to strangers passing through tonight. Today, Fargo police had nearly a dozen reports of the work of vandals in the Greenfields and Davies neighborhoods. Most of it is cleaned up, but the vandals sprayed swastikas and other offensive messages on cars, mailboxes, and fences. Investigators are still trying to determine whether or not these incidents are random acts of vandalism or if they're hate crimes. If you have any information, you're asked to call Fargo police.
Charges have been filed in a missing child case that could also be linked to the death of a Bemidji, Minnesota woman last week. 32-year-old Jacob Kien has been charged with kidnapping. Police received reports of a house fire in Bemidji. When they arrived on scene, they found the body of Melissa Norby. A 5-year-old Brittany Blaser, who was believed to be at the house at the time of the fire, went missing shortly after. She was later found in a pop-up camper near Big Fork, Minnesota. That's about 80 miles north of Bemidji. Reports say her legs were taped together with black duct tape and she didn't have access to food or water. Kien could face charges in Norby's death as well. He's being held on at least $500,000 bond. He was on probation for a 2013 child porn conviction.
A Fargo woman learns that her family isn't the only target of bicycle theft in their neighborhood.
Valley News Team's Cornelius Hawker met up with the mom who says being proactive is how you can stay a step ahead of the bad guys.
Help. Arlene Bushman says she's fed up with the criminal activity in her neighborhood.
I'm a part of 16 Facebook groups and I decided to post on every single one of them.
The post was about her son's bike. It was stolen Saturday afternoon. The brazen bike bandits came through this gate to steal the bicycle, but what they didn't realize was that there was a camera recording their every move. A camera that's there because someone broke their van's window and stole another bike a couple months ago.
So, he was being influenced by the older kid and just comes and checks it out, takes it, brings it, gives it to the older boy and runs.
Fargo police say this situation is a good reminder to make sure you inventory all of your valuable items. If you live in Fargo, you can add that information to an online database called My Property.
Anything that has serial numbers, that you can add that to My Property, and if it is stolen and recovered, then it allows us an opportunity to identify who the victim is and return your property to you.
Our neighborhood is getting proactive, and not wanting this to happen anymore.
In Fargo, Cornelius Hawker, Valley News Live.
Bushman added that they found the boy in the video. He confessed to taking the bicycle. She says the police are giving everyone involved one more chance to return the bike. Otherwise, the situation could end up in juvenile court.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death among teenagers, according to a new report out today. The report from the American Academy of Pediatrics says suicide affects teens no matter their race or gender, but teenagers who are gay, bisexual, or transgender have more than 2 times the rate of suicidal thoughts. Risk factors for suicide include bullying as well as social media use. The report urges pediatricians to screen teenagers for suicide risks. Some of the guidelines the report states are that teens should be interviewed away from their parents and are more likely to disclose information via writing rather than in person.
There's no standard method that is being used in all settings. If those become a part of the regular discussion, then it will become more normal for the teen, and they may be more likely to disclose if they have that positive relationship with the adult.
The report also found that the lead methods of suicide for teenagers are suffocation and using a firearm. If you or someone you know is thinking about suicide, call the suicide helpline at 1-800-273-8255.
It's a full 180 for a reporter who first wrote about the troubles of one Minnesota town, what prompted him to move there, and now calls it home.
Hardly a cloud in the sky, and we're going to see some clear skies and some very cool temperatures overnight tonight. But tomorrow, rebounding temperatures as we head through the afternoon and evening hours. Storm chances later on this week. We'll detail all that coming up right after this.